You wake up one day and look in the mirror. When did those lines appear around your eyes? Your kid who was just learning to walk is now driving. Your parents who seemed invincible now move slower, need more help. The job you thought you'd only do for a year? That was 10 years ago. The trip you were going to take? Still on the list. The thing you were going to learn? Still unlearned. The person you were going to call? They're gone now. And you stand there thinking, where did it all go? It feels like yesterday you were in your 20s thinking you had forever. Then you blinked, and you're here. However old you are now. Looking back at years that felt like minutes. Wondering where all that time went. Here's what nobody tells you when you're young. Life doesn't feel fast while it's happening. Monday feels long. The work week drags. Waiting for the weekend feels like forever. But then you look up and realize you've been doing the same Monday for 5 years. 10 years. 20 years. And it all compressed into what feels like a moment. There's a name for this. It's called the time paradox. When you're young, a year is a huge percentage of your life. When you're 7, 1 year is 1/7 of your entire existence. Feels enormous. But when you're 40, 1 year is 1/40 of your life. Smaller percentage. Time speeds up mathematically, but it's more than math. It's about attention. When you're young, everything is new. Your brain is recording constantly because it's all worth remembering. Your first day of school. Your first kiss. Your first apartment. New experiences create detailed memories that make time feel full. But then you get older and fall into routines. Same commute. Same job. Same weekend pattern. Same conversations. Your brain stops recording because there's nothing new to remember. Years pass with barely any distinct memories because nothing felt worth noting. You were on autopilot, and autopilot makes time disappear. Marcus Aurelius understood this 2,000 years ago. He wrote in his private journal, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." He was reminding himself that time is running out. That the life he had left was all the life he'd get. That he needed to wake up and live it while he still could. Seneca was even more direct. He wrote an entire essay called On the Shortness of Life, where he argued that life isn't actually short, we just waste most of it. We throw away days waiting for the weekend. We throw away months waiting for retirement. We throw away years planning to do things someday. And then we wonder where it all went. Epictetus taught his students, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. But most people do the opposite. They have dreams, values, priorities, but they keep putting them off. When I have more time, when I have more money, when the kids are older, when I retire, always later, always someday, until someday never comes. Today, I want to talk about something that's uncomfortable but necessary. Time is moving. Right now. While you watch this video. While you scroll before bed. While you say, maybe next year. It's moving. And you can't get it back. Not a single second of it. But here's what the Stoics also knew. Realizing life is going fast isn't meant to make you panic. It's meant to wake you up. To help you stop sleepwalking through your days. To make you present for the life you still have left. If you're feeling that ache of time passing too fast, subscribe to Stoic Journal. We're building a community of people who refuse to waste what's left. And don't skip ahead, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share the Stoic practice that makes time slow down. Let's begin. Why time feels like it's accelerating. Let's talk about why time feels like it's moving faster every year. Because understanding this is the first step to doing something about it. When you're a child, summer vacation feels infinite. 3 months is an eternity. You can't even conceive of what life will be like at the end of summer. But last summer, for you now, it was a blur. Barely remember what you did. Felt like it lasted 3 days instead of 3 months. Here's what's happening. Your brain measures time by how many new memories you create. When you're young, everything is new. Every day brings novel experiences worth encoding into memory. Your brain is working overtime creating detailed records. When you look back, you see a rich collection of distinct moments. Time feels full and long, but as you age, you fall into patterns. You take the same route to work so many times your brain doesn't bother recording it anymore. You have the same conversations, the same weekend activities, the same yearly routine. Your brain, trying to be efficient, stops creating detailed memories of repetitive experiences. It just notes another Tuesday and moves on. When you look back, there's nothing distinct to remember. No markers, no highlights, just a blur of sameness. And because your brain measures time by memories, when there are fewer memories, time feels like it passed quickly. The Stoics called this living while asleep. Seneca wrote about people who are so absorbed in routine that they miss their own lives happening. They're physically present but mentally absent, going through motions without awareness. And years pass this way. There's another factor, distraction. Think about how much of your day is spent in distraction. Scrolling your phone, half watching TV while half doing something else. Being in conversations but thinking about what you need to do later. Eating meals while working. Your attention is always split, always elsewhere. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." He understood that most people don't actually experience their life. They're remembering the past or anticipating the future. Here's the cruel part. You can't slow down time by wanting it to slow down. You can't make years longer by being stressed about how fast they're going. But you can change how you experience time. You can make the years you have left feel fuller, richer, more meaningful. The Stoics discovered that time doesn't move at a constant rate in our experience. An hour of deep engagement feels different than an hour of mindless scrolling. A day of new experiences creates more memory than a week of routine. A year of intentional living feels fuller than 5 years of autopilot. Epictetus taught that we have 2 types of time: chronological time that we can't control, and experiential time that we can. The clock ticks the same for everyone. But how those ticks feel, how much life you extract from them, that's within your control. Think about a day when something significant happened. Maybe someone died, or you fell in love, or you got life-changing news. That day probably feels like it happened slowly, with clear memory of each moment. Now think about last Tuesday. If it was just another Tuesday, you probably can't remember much about it. Same number of hours, radically different experience of time. This is why people say time speeds up as you age. It's not that the years are actually shorter. It's that you're creating fewer memorable moments. You're on autopilot more. You're present less. You're distracted more. So when you look back, there's less there to remember. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Most people waste decades, not on obviously bad things, but on nothing things. Passing time, killing time, waiting for life to start while life is actively ending. What you've lost while waiting. Let's get uncomfortable for a moment. Let's talk about what you've lost while waiting for the right time. You were going to learn that language. 5 years ago, you said, "Someday I'll learn Spanish." If you'd started then, you'd be fluent now. But you waited. You're still waiting. That's 5 years of conversations you could have had, places you could have traveled, connections you could have made. Gone. You were going to write that book. Start that business. Learn that instrument. Take that trip. Call that person. Fix that relationship. Start that hobby. Make that change. All those things you were going to do when you have time. Here's what the Stoics would tell you: you had time. You have time right now. What you don't have is priority. You had time to scroll for 2 hours today. Time to watch shows you don't even like. Time to stay in conversations that drain you. Time to do things that don't matter. You just didn't have time for what you said matters most. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome. Busiest job imaginable. Everyone wanted his time. Yet he still found time to write his philosophical reflections, to practice Stoicism, to work on his character. Not because he had more time than you, because he protected the time he had for what mattered most. Think about your life right now. What are you putting off? What are you waiting to do until conditions are perfect? Until you have more money, more time, more energy, more certainty? The Stoics would ask, what makes you think those conditions are coming? What makes you think you'll have that chance? Every day you wait is a day you don't get back. Every month you spend planning to start someday is a month you could have been progressing. Every year you tell yourself next year is a year that disappears forever. Seneca wrote to a friend, "You are living as if destined to live forever. Your own frailty never occurs to you. You don't notice how much time has already passed." He was confronting his friend with a hard truth. You're acting like you have unlimited time. You don't. None of us do. Here's what's heartbreaking. It's not just time you've lost. It's experiences, growth, connections, moments with people who are no longer here. Your grandparents who you meant to visit more but didn't. That friend you kept meaning to call. That trip you wanted to take with your dad before he got too old. The Stoics practiced something called memento mori, remember death. Not to be morbid, but to be realistic. Everyone you love will die. You will die. This is not a maybe. It's a certainty. And knowing this should change how you spend today. That person you keep meaning to tell you love them, they might not be here next week. That trip you want to take, your health might not allow it in 5 years. That dream you're postponing, you might not have the energy for it later. That relationship you're neglecting, it might not survive your continued neglect. Time doesn't just pass. It takes things with it. Opportunities close. People die. Your body ages. Energy decreases. Circumstances change. The window for doing what matters is always closing. Always. Right now, as you read this, windows are closing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." This wasn't pessimism. It was urgency. Stop living like you have forever. You don't. None of us do. The Stoic solution: wake up now. So what do you do with this awareness that time is moving too fast and you've been wasting it? The Stoic answer: wake up. Right now. Today. This moment. Not next Monday when you feel more ready. Not next month when life calms down. Not next year when you've planned better. Now. Because now is literally all you have. The past is gone. The future isn't promised. This moment is your entire life. Here's the Stoic practice for slowing down time. Be present. Fully present. For what you're doing right now. Epictetus taught, "Don't let the force of an impression when it first hits you knock you off your feet. Say to it, 'Hold on a moment. Let me see who you are and what you represent.'" He was teaching attention. The practice of actually being here for your life instead of thinking about elsewhere. When you eat, eat. Taste the food. Notice the texture, the flavor, the experience. Don't scroll while eating. Don't work through lunch. Don't eat mindlessly standing at the fridge. Actually eat. This one practice will make meals feel longer, more satisfying, more memorable. When you're with someone, be with them. Not on your phone. Not planning what you'll say next. Not thinking about your to-do list. Actually present with this person in front of you. Look at their face. Listen to their words. Notice their mannerisms. Be here for this conversation that you'll never have again exactly like this. Marcus Aurelius practiced this constantly. He'd remind himself, concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, not half-heartedly while thinking about something else. Fully, completely, like this moment matters, because it does. It's your life. The second Stoic practice: do something new. Break routines. Create novelty. Remember, your brain measures time by memories created. Same routine creates no new memories. New experiences create rich memories. This doesn't mean quit your job and travel the world. It means take a different route home. Try a new restaurant. Learn something new. Have a conversation with someone different. Do something on Saturday you've never done. Small novelties create memory markers that make time feel fuller. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. Not to ignore the future, but not to live entirely in it either." Most people spend their present preparing for a future that might not come while missing the life happening right now. The third practice: stop postponing what matters. The Stoics had a bias toward action. They believed in doing what you know you should do, not endlessly planning to do it someday. You know you should call that person. Call them today. You know you should start that project. Start it today. Even if it's just 10 minutes. You know you should learn that thing. Begin today. You know you should have that conversation. Have it today. Not perfectly. Not when conditions are ideal. Now, imperfectly. Messily. Because imperfect action beats perfect inaction. Every single time, Marcus would ask himself, what does this person want to be when they die? It's a clarifying question. When you die, do you want to be someone who always meant to do things but never got around to it? Or someone who did what mattered despite fear and imperfection? The fourth practice: memento mori. Daily remembrance that you will die. Write it down. I am going to die. Everyone I love is going to die. This might be my last day. Not to be depressed. To be awake. When you remember you're going to die, the petty stuff falls away. That grudge you're holding? Not worth your limited time. That person's opinion you're worried about? Irrelevant in the face of mortality. That risk you're afraid to take? What's the worst that happens? You die slightly sooner? You're dying anyway. This awareness creates urgency. The good kind. The kind that makes you call people you love. Say things that need saying. Do things that matter. Stop wasting your finite time on infinite nonsense. In the end, you realize. You woke up one day and realized life went too fast. That awareness, that ache, that regret is a gift. It's your wake-up call. It's your chance to stop sleepwalking through what's left. Because here's the truth the Stoics understood. You cannot get back the time you've wasted. It's gone. Forever. But you can stop wasting the time you have left. Starting right now. This moment. You might be 20 and feeling like high school was yesterday. You might be 40 looking at your kids wondering where the baby years went. You might be 60 realizing retirement is closer than college. You might be 80 knowing your time is measured in years, not decades. It doesn't matter. Whatever time you have left is all the time you get. And you can waste it the same way you wasted what's already gone, or you can wake up and live it. Marcus Aurelius died at 58 during a military campaign. He didn't get the long retirement he might have wanted. But he lived every day with presence and purpose. When his time came, he'd lived fully. Not perfectly, not without regrets, but fully. Awake, present, intentional. Seneca was forced to commit suicide at 68. He knew it was coming. He'd spent his whole life preparing for death through his philosophy. When the order came, he faced it with calm acceptance. Not because he didn't value life, but because he'd actually lived it. He hadn't been waiting to start living someday. He'd been living all along. Epictetus lived into his 80s, which was remarkable for his era. He spent his youth as a slave, his middle years establishing his school, his later years teaching students. He died having lived according to his principles, having taught thousands to wake up and live. Your story isn't written yet. However old you are, however much time you've wasted, however fast it's gone, you have right now. This moment, this day, this chance. Stop waiting. Stop planning to start someday. Stop putting off what matters. The Stoics would tell you, someday is here, right now. This is it. This is your life. Live it. Thank you for being here at Stoic Journal. If this struck something in you, subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to wake up. Check out our other videos for more truth about living well. Time is moving. Right now. While you sit here, make it count. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. The Stoics showed us how. All we have to do is follow. Stay strong. Stay awake. And remember, your time is limited. Use it while you have it.